In the morning, well before sunrise, Jess woke and started a systematic inventory of the cell, down to the stones, mortar and bars. Thomas overflowed his narrow bunk, hands folded on his chest, and his breathing seemed even and calm, but in the dim light seeping through the high window, Jess saw he wasn't asleep. Thomas's blue eyes were open, staring at the ceiling, but not a blank stare. His mind was all too active. "What are you thinking?" Jess asked quietly as he stood on his bunk and pulled at the iron bars on the cell window. He kept it to a neutral question because it was likely that the other young man's thoughts were on the past. These cells were cleaner than the libraries, and thus far refreshingly free of torture devices, but the similarities still chilled. He couldn't imagine what being imprisoned dredged up for Thomas, who'd endured months in that hell. Thomas let 2 slow breaths pass in and out before he said, "I imagine they'll try to take Morgan first." That was far from what he'd been expecting, and Jess swung down to the floor with an almost noiseless hop. "Why do you say that?" "The Burners may hate the library, but they're not stupid, at least not this nest of them. They've resisted for more than 100 years and turned the American colonies into boiling pots of trouble on all fronts for the library. Beck will fully understand the advantages of having a pet obscurist. She could help them in their terrorist operations, repair their translation chamber, create their own codex. They could build their own splinter version of the Great Library here in Philadelphia, but under their own control. They have original books, I imagine. What they need is an obscurist. The rest of us," Thomas shrugged, "we're only a bonus." A new voice said, "We must use skills to our advantage." That was Kalila, who perched on the edge of her cot near her cell's door. "Our knowledge is our value. We have to make them see that."